Dear Mr. Fantasy Baseball. Hey, everybody. This is Keith. Hope everybody's doing great out there. This is my buddy Pete. Pete, how are you doing?
Hey, guys. Good, Keith.
Okay, so we are officially at our draft recap podcast. And we are going to be looking into a bunch of different things, the draft itself, the season. But before we get to that, we got to talk about something.
Yeah. I'm thinking you mean the theme song, of course.
The theme song.
Sing so well in the wrong register.
Yeah. We gotta what's that? What do the kids do these days? They do the pitch shifting or the I forget what it's called. It's anyways, it'll come to me. It'll come to me like halfway through the podcast. But Traffic, the band itself, the song.
Yeah. One of my favorite bands of all time. Lead singer Steve Winwood. I think that song came out in 67, 68 off the Dear Mr. Fantasy album. One of my dark, not dark, but my deep cut type of bands.
Oh, you have a lot of deep cuts from them that you enjoy.
Yeah, I just Traffic is one of my faves.
Yeah,
love them.
It's great. Now they're not considered a super group, right?
They're not. You're thinking of Blind Faith, which Steve Winwood did after that. Yeah.
Or maybe Cream, even for that matter.
Cream, yep. So no, it's Jim Capaldi and Chris Wood. Those are the three mainstays in Traffic, and then Dave Mason joined them, the lone American for a couple albums, and so
cool.
his big contribution was "Feeling All Right," which was covered by Joe Cocker.
Nice.
Anyway, but yes, Traffic, great group. Check them out.
Yeah, so that would be the
best album.
Oh,
John Barleycorn Must Die, 1970. Great album.
Okay, there you go. Boom, there you go. Traffic, very awesome. Underrated, wouldn't you say?
Oh, 100%.
Totally underrated.
Absolutely. Steve Winwood himself is underrated. I mean, he started singing at 15 with the Spencer Davis Group, and he sounds like Ray Charles, but his voice does not match what he looks like. And everybody's like, God, who is this guy singing? Oh, he's a 15-year-old white kid from England. What? So, anyway, cool. Traffic, great group.
Yeah, so hence our name, Dear Mr. Fantasy Baseball. That is a Traffic song, and you should look it up. It's great. All right, so now on to the baseball stuff. The season has started.
Yes.
Boy, oh boy. A few injuries out there. A few pitchers.
Incredible. I mean, they're going down like flies.
It's unbelievable.
And, the number one, Spencer Strider going down. So we're at a 10-team season points league, and somebody else in our league drafted Spencer Strider with their first pick, and I had him last year, loved him, got him kind of like a little bit on the later side, and of course he just did incredibly well last year. Dare I say I kind of feel a little bad
you do?
for
yeah.
him.
Actually, I don't.
More for Spencer Strider.
Yeah, Spencer Strider. He still has the great mustache, so I think he'll be fine.
But if you throw that hard...
It's, you know what, don't even get me started because that's the whole thing.
And it's a second Tommy John, right?
Yeah, second Tommy John, unbelievable. Anyways, these poor guys.
But who else is it? We've got Spencer Strider. Shane Bieber went down out of nowhere. I was at his first start in Oakland, and he was
dealing.
It's an Oakland A's lineup, but still, I watched him pitch, and I knew, and I've had him in the past. I had him when he was, good. And he's had a couple of subpar years, and then I thought he would bounce back, but out of nowhere, that one came out of nowhere.
Yeah, no warning, no hey, there's got some forearm tightness.
Correct.
It was like,
boom,
he's out. Tommy John's like, oh, okay. Well, anyways, all right. Well, so with that, today's main topic is going to be the draft, and we're going to kind of go over how our draft went. It's a very, I have to say, in doing our draft, very competitive.
Everybody did their homework. No one mailed it in.
There was not too many. And in fact, not only that, there's been a couple picks where I was kind of scratching my head. Well, they're turning out to be what looks to be really good picks.
Yep, absolutely.
So if we were to look at, let's see, first round, it went like this. And it's going to be right here. Boop, 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 boop. You guys are going to be able to see it as well. It went number 1, Spencer Strider. Kind of the obvious one.
Absolutely.
He's such a difference maker at that position. I mean, he could have 800 points.
It was either Strider, it was one of the two Braves, Strider or Acuna. So it's number 1 doesn't pick again until 20. So it's okay, am I going to start pitching, or am I going to start with the best pitcher or the best hitter?
Yeah.
And the guy who picked Strider had Acuna last year. So he probably was thinking, okay, Strider, there's no way Acuna repeats what he did last year. Strider could potentially, and even maybe better than last year. I think that's his thinking process. So
Yeah,
But-
in our league, yeah. If you have a top-notch difference maker pitcher, I mean that is
Yep.
That could be anywhere from 100 to 200 point difference.
But Acuna was that difference maker last year
Oh.
because he was far like 200 points ahead of the next offensive player.
Yeah,
and he
unbelievable.
put up like really good pitching numbers, like Randy Johnson of 15 years ago numbers.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
All right. So for us, it went Strider, Acuna, Betts.
Incredible. Had him last year, but he's just out of the gate. I mean, and second base eligible too. So,
And he'll be shortstop eligible, maybe even.
So
It's
I mean, you could
unbelievable.
make an argument to have him. He was should have been first or second. So third is exactly where he should go. He fell. He was much further down the line last year, and he's right where
Yeah.
he needs to be at 3.
Yeah, the guys like him are just every year. It's just this. It's like nothing like, everything's good. So it just nothing pops for me. But it's like every year, he's like 500,
Rock solid. I mean,
550, 600 points. It's unbelievable. Okay, after Mookie, we went with Juan Soto.
Who I think is going to be the AL MVP. I think that was a perfect spot for him. And again, you need with outfield, you've got to draft soon. Like we should have started the pod this way: that you had the 7th pick, I had the 8th pick.
Yeah.
So in thinking that, it's like okay, I needed to get an outfielder early because there's only about 7 or 8 guys that are good outfielders.
difference
So
makers.
If you don't, then
Yeah.
you get into a bad glob of outfielders.
Yeah. Oh, well, and I got there. Don't worry. Let's see. Then went Soto. Then went our second pitcher, Zach Wheeler.
Which I thought was the biggest surprise. I was very surprised by that.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping he was falling to 7.
You were going to take him at 7?
Oh, yeah. I was
No
gonna-
kidding.
So my whole draft strategy was I wanted to take him at 7 and then Ohtani at
On the turn.
on the afterwards.
Interesting. So that was your first screw job. I mean, you got...
Yeah, I got
Interesting.
hosed. Yeah, I was not happy about that. But what are you gonna do? So Wheeler goes, then Kyle Tucker. To me, same thing. It's like nothing fancy.
Yep.
He's just every year.
Boring. And again, a needed outfielder.
Yeah, I mean every year he's solid. So it's just one of those things. So then I'm at 7 and I take Ohtani because at this point I'm like I wanted him. I really feel like he could be a difference maker in hitting, and he hopefully will be outfield eligible. I don't know. What say you with Ohtani?
I was surprised you took him that early because I think you could have got him on the way back. I really do. But, I mean, obviously, you like your guys. You're going to
like
go.
the guys.
So that's another thing you learn in drafting. It's like, if you wait too long, it's, who knows? Someone could have taken Ohtani, but I think he would have been there for you. But is there anybody
that's
you
sweet.
wanted more?
No, see
Well,
that was
these
the
two
thing.
next guys, to me,
Yeah, well,
They
you
came
see, I
after.
had Ramirez last year,
Yes.
and he went to Peter. Peter took Ramirez. Great pick. I mean, same thing, rock solid. And at third base, it's like,
yeah, third base is
know.
another position scarcity.
yeah,
And here we go again with the night. So again, Ohtani 7, Ramirez 8, and then it's so funny because two drafts in a row. Freeman, I had to bypass Freeman because I thought because there was a player left that I really wanted. In this case, it was Ramirez. Last year, it was Betts. So I knew the person behind me. I was gifting them Freddie Freeman. So last year, because I took Betts, I gifted Freddie Freeman to the person behind me. They ended up winning the league. And this year again, I gifted it to Freddie Freeman. It's like you think Mookie Betts is that guy, that rock solid. To me, Freddie Freeman is just
every year.
I mean, lock it in.
Yeah.
550, 600 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just incredible. So it pained me to let Freeman go, but it really came down to position scarcity. Third base is, I think, far more of a need than first base. First base to me is deep. There are more first basemen after Freeman than third baseman. So that's why I went with Ramirez over Freeman.
There you go.
There's no reason, but Freeman should not be going that way.
Yeah, that you can make that argument for
No
sure.
way.
I mean, let's see. Finishing off the first round, then went Matt Olson, and yeah, he's the same thing. He's just like, although, he's had he's become better and better kind of each year.
Yeah.
So he's an impressive.
Strikeouts are still there, but yeah, he's somebody I won't draft just because I think there are better first basemen out there in terms of like play discipline, and just strikes out too much for me. Even 51 home runs. If he cut his K's way down, he would be on my radar. But
Yeah. Yep.
something
So.
way done.
All right, so finishing out the first round, then we get to the second round. First person in the second round is Corbin Carroll. Oh, he's so good. I mean, and already
Great.
he's already doing great.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have he's going to be again right there for the NL MVP. And then here comes the first kind of curveball. Tyler Glasnow goes.
Yeah, what are you thinking as soon as he was picked?
As soon as he was picked, I was like kind of laughing. I'm like, I was not. I mean, I thought maybe your second pitcher. I mean, I didn't have him up this high at all.
Well, because he's only going to, they say he may get 130 innings, 140 at the most 150.
And let's be honest, he's going to get hurt. There's just.
Yeah, he looked pretty
You have
good.
to assume it. I mean, he might not, and hopefully for him he doesn't. But I mean, I think it's safe to say he's going to have something come up at some point.
This comes on the heel of last night. I think he had 14 Ks. He looked ridiculous last night.
No, I watched his first out against the Giants. It was unbelievable. He was, everything was going this way, that way, and it was, 98, 99.
Yeah,
is that good?
But like you, I'm like, ooh, that's a little early. I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah.
But the person who drafted him is someone who does kind of go out of the box a little bit. He drafted not that long ago, 5 years ago. He drafted
Was it
shortstop
Lindor?
Francisco Lindor, the first pick, and it was just like, I mean, he had a great year the year before, but it was the first pick.
Yeah.
So that was surprising.
It was definitely not.
So he'll do things like that, kind of like he goes after his guys. So Glasnow there with the 12th pick, second pick of the second round. So
there you go.
So then it's me, and I'm like, I needed an outfielder, and so my two outfielders left. I wanted Corbin Carroll, but he went 2 picks prior. So I was left with these two, and I'm curious it was Tatis or Julio Rodriguez. And I had to get an outfielder there because when it came back to me, I knew that the pickings would be slim. So I went with Tatis, and I'll tell you my reasoning in a minute. Who would you have gone with, Julio Rodriguez or Tatis?
I think it's a coin flip.
To pick him?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I'm not in love with either of them.
Yeah.
But
you gotta, I mean, outfield is...
Yeah, unfortunately, outfield
and you got your outfield already with Ohtani.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping. Well, he's not eligible yet.
Is he still DH?
He's still just DH right now.
Wow, so you went all hitting on that. That's even a worse pick than I thought.
Yeah, there you go.
So you have no outfielder at this point with your first pick. So I went with Tatis. I just think Rodriguez, again, I know I sound like a broken record with his plate discipline, strikes out too much for me. He just, and he's kind of a slow starter. Whereas Tatis, I kind of see him in the mold of Acuna. Acuna drafted last year, and I'm not saying that Tatis is going to have like a 700, 800 point season, but I don't know. I could see him just breaking out that. What was it, 2 years ago before the injuries?
Unbelievable.
So that's part of his track record. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Julio Rodriguez has a lot of potential to do that. Tatis has already done it. So to me, I'm going with Tatis because I think he's due. Without Soto in San Diego, he's going to be the offensive man. And so far in this very short week and a half season, it turns out Rodriguez is kind of struggling. It's early, of course. Yeah. And Tatis looks, pretty good.
No, he does look pretty good. No, and it's funny seeing the Padres. That would be one of my only things is that the Padres are just like such a it's like who knows what's going to happen with them.
They're interesting. I mean, they came down from a 7. They got 7 runs late.
Yeah,
they're a funny team.
They are. Yeah. So without Soto, we'll see. You're right. There's definitely a vacancy for him to step it up. After that, I had to go with a pitcher, and I went with Pablo Lopez.
Love him.
And he's just been great. So,
and you went over Corbin Burns, who was next. But yeah, I love Lopez. He's special.
Yeah, he's just
11K per 9.
He's pretty good.
That was a good pick.
Right after Lopez, then goes Burns, and Burns has been lights out.
Yep.
And he's on a pretty good team too. So that's the other thing. Then we get Zach Gallen, always great. He's on a good team. Then comes Castillo, and that was the one I was kind of like. And I know you talked about
I love him. I love him, but he's sputtering right now early on. He's going to ERA 6.
He has moments where that's where I sometimes can't. Yeah.
I think you think about his Cincinnati Reds days, and it was not a good park to pitch in, and then. No. But last year he had a really good year and finished off the year well. So I am surprised by his slow start. Again, early season, but his first two starts have not been going well. But I think he's picked fine there. I think that's in the middle of the second round. That's a perfect spot.
Yeah, I mean you can definitely make that argument. Okay, then after that comes Logan Webb.
Not going to get you Ks, but he's going to get you innings.
He's great. Yeah, I mean
he's in a great park.
He's one of those guys where I talk about he's a very good baseball player. is he a fantasy asset guy?
Right.
That's a tough. It's like
That's a good point. Yeah, he's
so I don't know. It's like I love him, and my thing is I always try to stay away from teams where my favorite teams, their pitchers, because it'll drive me crazy watching them. But no, he's great. So I mean, there you go. Okay, from there we get to 19, which is Bobby Witt Jr.
should have gone much earlier.
Oh, so
I mean,
he was the one I was hoping he'd be
waiting
there.
I mean, to me, you
at
go
the
Bobby
third.
Witt over, I don't know, any of those 4 pitchers. But again, people are, I don't know, I think you could have waited on pitcher, but can't wait on shortstop that long.
No, I know. It's just like, ay.
Yeah.
And already he's doing great. Rounding out the second round, we ended up with Trey Turner.
So
And again, this is a guy that's very good. He does very well every year. And so it's like when he took him, I'm like, does he know something I don't know?
well, I think he was banking on, from August 15th on or something from last year, he was ridiculous. But before that, he was not good at all.
Not at all.
And so again, at this point, I'm in 8. I'm waiting. I need a shortstop, and I've got the one. There's a better shortstop that I would have drafted
really?
over, and this includes Bobby Witt Jr. and definitely over Trey Turner. So
Interesting.
the Trey Turner pick, I think,
Is that,
should have gone
is
elsewhere.
that a tease, if you will?
It's a tease.
Sure,
for
here
the
we
round
go.
3. So I was thrilled that my guy was there when he came back because it's my favorite player to drop. But I'll wait for this.
Okay, sure. There we go. All right, so with round 3 then comes, let's see, another outfielder, Julio Rodriguez.
So there's one that's like the second to last good outfield. Oh no, we still have a couple left. So,
Yeah,
sorry.
but it's starting to like.
Oh, yeah.
You got to
About
start
3 or 4
paying
left.
attention here.
Yep.
After that comes Yamamoto, and we'll see. I think he's gonna be great.
He's on a pretty good team. So
Yeah, he's.
but spring. But his first outing did not go well.
No,
it was
it
interesting.
didn't. That was
and he had a bad
ay,
spring
ay.
training too, or he had one good outing and one bad outing. I think
you go.
he got rocked. Yes, second. But so yeah, we'll see.
All right, so then to finish out the third round, we got Simeon, Alvarez, Devers. Those 3 are all great. Kind of,
Simeon, he'll give you. He's
Simeon
so
especially.
Alvarez
Alvarez,
at
too.
kind of a weaker position. Alvarez is great. Injury risk there, but he's somebody that. I would draft him over Aaron Judge. Honestly, he's interesting, but injury.
What'd you think of Devers
Concern.
at that point?
I'm not interested in Devers.
I know. That was the other one. I was like,
People love it. People love him. I just.
He started so well last year, and then
Yeah.
he just faded.
Yeah, he was really a hot commodity last year, and I was like, again, plate discipline. Just, not somebody. I'm happy with Ramirez or Lance Bregman there. Devers is other third baseman I prefer.
Yeah. All right, moving on, we had Frambler. Oh boy, and he's already running.
Blur.
Framber. He's running into arm problems already, so that's
Another
a bummer.
innings eater.
Yeah, he's a good starting pitcher. And then of course I go with the one that Peter had kind of an issue with. I went with Vladdy.
Well, I think you're banking. It's not a bad pick. To me personally, I think Bryce Harper's going to have a better year, and we both had Bryce
and
Harper.
I think we bet on that, didn't we?
No, we bet on somebody else and Vlad. Was it the next guy I picked? I can't remember.
No, I thought it was.
Maybe it was
Vlad.
Bryce Harper.
I think it was. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have to. That'll be something to keep up on for sure.
But not a bad. I just have the first baseman that I prefer. That's other.
There you go.
He's due to kind of bust out to what he had 2 years ago. I just haven't seen him.
There you
And
go.
then my pick came next, and this is the guy that I was praying would come back to me, and he did, even though he plays shortstop, and that's Corey Seager. He's my favorite guy to draft, and I did gamble that he would be there for me on whatever that is, the 28th pick, end of the third round. I think he should have gone where Trey Turner went, even could have gone where Bobby Witt Jr. went. Corey Seager, to me, is a health thing. If he stays healthy, he averages
so
4
good.
points a game. He's
Unbelievable.
really, really like him.
Yep, he's pretty good. Then from there went Aaron Judge.
Way late. Could have gone way earlier.
The thing with Judge is just, it's like, is he going to be healthy? And then we finish off round 3 with Kevin Gausman, which,
Again, way late. I thought he might. I was because at this point I don't have a pitcher, so I'm hoping he comes back. But the guy at the end snaked him. I was bummed. So that forced me. Not that we're doing a fourth round. That forced me into. I think the last best pitcher was Scooble, which I know you are kind of laugh at, but I think he's just.
he's pretty good.
So it was.
I laughed at him because I had him and he was disappointing 2 years ago. Yeah, but
That's
anyways,
it.
all right. So
That's
that was
it
it
for
for
the
those rounds. Now, as far as our kind of one player,
Yeah.
that you got maybe later that has been a bright spot thus far for me.
Yes.
That it was I picked Jordan Hicks with the 22nd round, and he's been so far so good. You know, he wants to start. He's starting for the Giants. His first two outings have been good. The cool thing is, dude, you watch him pitch, and his first couple innings, he's throwing like
Yes.
93, 95. He's ending like in the 6th and 7th, 100, 101.
It's crazy. How do you get?
And everything's like this. Nothing's straight. It's like he looks great. So really hoping I got some great value there at 22nd round. How about
Nice. You know, I am not prepared for this question. I was not when I was looking at one player, one round. I was like, I had to think. Wait, you know, I will go back. I will just retread. I was happiest to get Corey Seager. Someone I
Yeah,
got
at that
late
point.
who's hitting well for me is Ketel Marte. I got him again. a
Same
little
thing every year.
Yeah, well, not every year because last year he rebounded and he was getting drafted in like the 14th, 15th round last year.
Oh, interesting.
I was hoping for a rebound. It happened, and he's continuing this year very well. But he had 2 years that were kind of off. So, but he's back in, hitting well. His Diamondbacks teammate who went late for me, first baseman Christian Walker. I love Christian Walker. He's always.
I wanna always discount him, but dude, last year he finally put it all together. He did great.
So
And
happy.
hitting in Arizona, jeez, come on.
You know, and the one, back to the season start, I'm going to backtrack a little bit.
you go.
Relievers have just been Achilles heel of everyone. It's so frustrating.
I had Leclerc going last night.
You had
How'd that
Leclerc
go?
who got blown up. I had Pete Fairbanks pitching in Colorado where he walked the bases loaded. And it's just like, blown save,
Yeah.
Somebody I did pick up, speaking of relievers, I picked up Abner, the guy who took over for Devin Williams in Milwaukee.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
but he's been a bit iffy too. But he's had a couple of saves. But yes, Ryan
Thus far.
Helsley's my other guy who. But so it's like it's such a the relievers are just tricky. Long gone are the days where you could draft Eric Gagne. He was my guy for years.
Sure.
I hate the Dodgers, sorry, but he would just be a 15-point save every time out.
Yeah.
Blown saves are so commonplace. It's just.
I don't know.
Frustrating.
We'll have to see how it goes. Overall, I mean, what do you think of your team? I mean, are you happy?
I'm happy. The pitching's a little bit, my starters aren't great. I had to go with Skubal, and then my next picture was from Toronto, Chris
Bassett.
Chris Bassett.
There you go.
Chris Bassett.
He's had a couple rough ones.
He's good or bad, hit or miss. So, 8 Ks, 7 innings. I wanted a kind of a longer guy, reliever, or longer
outing.
Innings eater. Zach Eflin's been disappointing for me in Tampa Bay. I got him.
It's tough.
Yeah, my starters are. I'm happy with my offense. I'm leading the league right now in hits.
Okay, good work.
So happy with and honestly, offense can carry you, and you can piece together pitching. That's how you can get guys off the waiver wire, pitchers off the waiver wire much easier than you can hitters.
Okay.
So I'm happy with my offense. My pitching does need a little bit of work.
Okay, nice.
You?
I'm happy with my starting pitching. I haven't pitched a bunch of guys yet.
Yeah,
but,
you're
I'm
way down. I
down.
think I pitched double your.
But I just haven't had very good matchups. But I got my pitching's pretty good. My relievers are going to be an interesting same thing. It's like I ended up getting Munoz, who's great, but he just hasn't had a lot of opportunities.
Scott Service and Felix
blew up once already.
Put him in the 8th, and it was funny. AJ Hinch of the Tigers. Did you see this? There's Alex Lang or Jason. What's his name?
Like Corey or something. Kobe.
So he tinkers
Flip-flops
with them.
in the old days.
Yeah, and he even in his press conference, and I can't remember. I think it was today's Wednesday. He says Monday's matchup. I think he apologized on Tuesday. He's sorry, fantasy owners, for pitching.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
He
hysterical.
bought it.
Nice. There you
funny.
go.
Yeah,
Getting our respect that we deserve.
That was very funny.
All right. Well, with that, I think we're pretty much we're out of time. Number one. Number two is we gotta wrap it up. So it was great to talk to you.
Thanks for coming in. Good job,
yeah.
Keith.
You made it work. All right. So with that, let's sing ourselves out of here. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Dear Mr. Fantasy Baseball. Bye, guys. Thanks.